And welcome back to the 2019 Stafford Open. We are here for your final round coverage. This is the back nine coverage for the FPO ladies. My name is Becky Harris. I'm here accompanied by course designer TD extraordinaire Adam Harris.
The 2019 Stafford Open is presented by Inva Champion Discs. And here we are coming up to the leaderboard, which has Sarah Hokom at 4 down, Lisa Fajkus at 1 down, Vanessa Van Dyken and Holly Finley at 5 up.
We've had some pretty good scores here on the front nine. As you can see, Vanessa was 1 down, Sarah shooting even, Lisa +2, and Holly +3. So some great scores on the front nine. We're here on the first hole on the back nine, hole 10. It's a 257-foot par 3. Probably the straightest hole the entire course. You really have to execute this well. You have to get through kind of this goalpost of trees, and then you should have a simple shot up from there. Holly had a great drive off the tee. Should leave her probably a circle putt just behind the basket.
We've got Vanessa up. Looks like she's got a mid in her hand based on the rim profile. And that looks like that's going to hyzer off just a little bit as well and be about circle's edge, similar to where Holly is, with a tree or two in the way.
Up third on the tee, we have Lisa Fajkus. Great drive by Lisa.
Just under the basket there. That was a very well executed shot. Setting herself up nicely for a good look at a birdie.
Yep.
Sarah lining up her forehand. Is that going to finish out? It sure is.
Yes. Great drives by all these ladies. Man, these FPO players are playing so well on this course. I mean, they're just lining up these shots and just executing them like it's nothing.
This is a tough hole to make it down to the basket area. It's a very tight gap, and all 4 of them are putting for birdie. I've been really impressed with the way. Wow, what a great putt by Holly from the woods. Yeah. Making a birdie with obstacles in the way.
Just like you're saying, you're impressed by the way they've been playing, and just by Holly's putt. I mean, these girls are just doing so well. But, I mean, they're coming into the back stretch, the final 9 holes. So it's really, if you want to place and you want to cash, you really might need to go a little bit more aggressive on this back 9.
Lisa in for her birdie.
Lisa has a few strokes to make up on Sarah.
And this is the place that anything can happen. You can birdie or bogey every hole, as we've said a couple times throughout this, as Hokom taps in for her birdie. Looks like Vanessa's going to be the lone par, tapping in for her 3. And we're headed to hole 11, which is a 775-foot par 5, double dog leg. This hole plays down a very tight gap into a very slight hill that turns left as the drone's turning right now, and goes for about another 250 feet before it turns back to the right and then finishes 250 feet fairly straight. This is the tricky part of the hole right here on the second dog leg. Listen, go ahead.
Adam, I know you were saying earlier how, you thank the Stafford maintenance crew, the woodpeckers, everybody for their volunteers. These volunteers mulched practically this entire course, and imagine just mulching this one hole, a 775-foot hole. I mean, it's amazing what all these volunteers did, and they all had a smile on their face because all they want to do is see these professional players come and play their course. And Lisa released that a little bit early, but it looks like it kicked her back in the fairway.
I'm with you, Becky. The excitement leading up to this event was unreal. The buzz with the touring pros coming into town. Everybody was so excited and willing to work all year long so we could showcase this course just for these women and men that are here this weekend. We got Vanessa lining up her backhand. Looks like that's going to stand up nicely. If that skips and hyzers, she's going to set herself up in a really good spot for her second shot. And we've got a spotter giving the golf clap coming around the tree. Must be in a great landing spot for her.
We have Lisa with a forehand shot for her second shot. Turns it over nicely, but unfortunately hit a tree in the middle of the fairway.
Sarah's stepping out. She's on one knee. She's going to have to throw a forehand here with a little bit of turnover to make down the line. Looks like she tickled a little bit and went right rough.
Holly with the backhand shot. Looks like she's in, just a little bit off the fairway. She was probably looking to get back out. Unfortunately, hit that tree and kind of kept her.
That looks like Sarah, a little bit hidden by the branches. Looks like she's going for another overhand as she did earlier on this hole. And she puts it up nicely as it slides to the second dog leg. That's a really well executed out from there.
Mm-hmm. See what Holly can do.
Holly puts a nice high anhyzer up. That looks like it's shaping right down the hole.
Mm-hmm. Any forward progress in this hole is good. So, Lisa lands here right in the middle of the fairway. She's throwing an anhyzer shot. That'll probably fade out just a little bit, but that is a great shot she had. She definitely got some distance there.
And this is Vanessa's drive, setting up well for the forehand around the second dog leg. And she does that just a little bit on left edge, but she took a big bite out of this hole in 2 throws. Sarah's got the forehand. She's going to have a tight lane from there where it's got to stand up nice and flat. Almost made it up the gap. That's a really tough shot from there.
Mm-hmm. Holly's figuring out which tree she's going to need to go around. She landed right in the ditch. But even where she is, she'll have a straight up shot towards the basket. It's probably a very easy mid-range shot from there.
This is Vanessa sitting 2. Making a fantastic upshot that slides under the basket. That's going to leave her an excellent look for a birdie on a really tough hole.
Holly in the ditch. But again, it's still just a straight shot from there. So that's all you really need is just something that'll glide nice and not fade out too hard. She did hit the one tree that was in the middle of the fairway there, but she should still have a putt.
Lisa's on the left edge of the fairway. In the bottom of the ditch as well. That's about 230 feet from the basket. She's got a big right forehand up high. And that looks like that's going to finish at the basket as well.
Wow.
And she's right up under it.
Man, these ladies are playing this hole well.
Sarah's in a similar position.
This is one of those holes that you can 4 and you can 10. So to watch these ladies get down this fairway with ease, it's great to watch. And while some of them have had some bad kicks, to watch them execute their outs from, off the fairway has been great to see.
Holly looks like she's putting it under the basket and shoring for the tap in.
Mm-hmm. Just missed a little.
Just a little short.
Mm-hmm. Looks like all the ladies should have some pretty easy putts from here, but I'm sure, after they're done this hole, they're probably happy to be done this tight-wooded par 5 and to set up for the next couple holes, which are all, under 300-foot par 3s.
Strong par from Lisa. And I agree with you. Once you get past this one, you can take a break, for a little bit of a breather for the next couple of holes. Because this one can bring some trouble in. Holly was in for the double, and I believe this is Vanessa in for a fantastic birdie.
Yes. I mean, as you can see, there was a right away of scores with Vanessa with a 4, Lisa getting the par 5, Sarah and Holly both with the double bogey 7.
We're into hole 12, which is a 274-foot par 3. Which is a backhand righty hyzer up the hill that you don't want to finish too short to the right or you'll be in the right rough. Very well protected green, both on the left side, right side, and long. The pin's kind of tucked into a pocket in the back of the green. Mm-hmm. Here's Vanessa pulling out backhand.
And for me, me and you who are both lefties, we almost kind of want to throw something that's slightly understable that can get around up, but also fade out a little bit. It's a tough hole to 2, but if you can set yourself up in the open for a lefty, you can too this hole. Looks like Lisa pulled that a little bit to the right, but she made it through, I think.
And this hole's another nice, clean lane. Looks like Holly's hit the lane right there. But you have to make those first couple trees. And it can be mentally difficult, especially coming in off of 11, where you've got this gap that you know you have to hit. Looks like Sarah's put it up right in the middle of the gap with a little bit of turnover, and she's going to be on the right edge, maybe in a little bit of the mountain laurel, having to throw over them to give herself a good look back at the basket for a par.
Mm-hmm.
And Vanessa appears to be down at the bottom of the hill. That is one of the toughest spots to be in the entire course. She hit early and kicked pretty hard left. She's out over the top, and it appears she hit right above her head.
And landed right next to her.
As I said, you get down there and there's not much. It's straight uphill with a lot of branches overhead. It's a really, really tough spot to be in.
Hopefully she made it on top of that mound. Give herself a look towards the basket. Looks like Lisa has a forehand shot. Hit some early trees. But as you can see, you know, she's inside those laurels pretty good, so she's going to have to pick a line and be confident with it and execute it. Which she did. She got through most of it, and she should still have a nice open putt towards the basket.
That right rough at the top of this green is tight. This is a tough hole. For a par 3, it's really, really key to get the drive up there. Mm-hmm. Looks like Sarah's put her up shot close, and Vanessa's lining up for Anheuser in.
Looks like she hit the same laurel that Sarah did. Man, these laurels are giving them a little bit of trouble on this hole.
Very well protected green. It's tight back there. Here's Holly lining up her putt.
Just a little low. You know, as you get down to these last few holes, you know, you get tired, you get mentally drained, and, you know, sometimes you start missing putts, or sometimes your lines are just off by a little bit. But, you know, you really have to stay focused and keep going.
You do have to maintain your focus on a course like this. These ladies are coming in on the fall of this touring season, and they've been in the East Coast for a little while. And the woods can wear on you. Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they're used to the wood golf by now, but yes, it can wear on you mentally, and sometimes you just want something you can just grip it and rip it. You know, Sarah tapping in for her par there.
And we're going to move on to hole 13, which is another par 3. Downhill, and it's 204 feet. And this is a touchy shot because there's a tight gap right here off of the tee that you can go early left or early right, but it's also downhill and very short, so it's touchy. And long is, again, a well-protected green by mountain laurel and trees. Here's Holly throwing a soft stand-up putter. Looks like it's going to be left of the green, inside of the circle. That's a really well-executed shot.
Mm-hmm. Here we have Sarah with a forehand, which for a righty is kind of way to go. You know, lefty is just a simple backhand, you know, downhill putt. But she was able to get around all the trees you need, and she went a little long, but she should still be able to have that comeback putt for a birdie opportunity.
Lisa going forehand, keeping that low. That could skip up right to the basket, and it certainly does. Very well executed tee shot there. Vanessa going backhand. And she looks like she threw it straight at it and caught that last laurel. This is Sarah. Went a little deep on her drive. She's going to have an obstructed putt for the birdie. Over top.
Just missed. And that's what you were talking about earlier. You know, when you were talking about previewing the hole, that going long on this hole isn't necessarily good. Oh, yeah. Holly with a birdie.
Making the straddle putt around the tree. In for the deuce.
And Vanessa lining up for her birdie putt too. She does have a little bit of a straddle. Just missed to the right.
This is another one of those greens you can tell all the volunteer work that went in. Everything's got wood chips in the entire woods. It was a lot of work this summer. It was well worth it.
Great
Vanessa
comeback
tapping
putt.
in for her par. That was a good comeback putt. Lisa's got the birdie putt here. Looks like she got the potential to take one more back on Sarah. She's in for her birdie, making her move.
Again, depending on how far you out, you really need to, try to be a little bit of aggressive. And that's what you're seeing here from Lisa. After 13 holes, Sarah's at 3 down and Lisa's at 1 down.
Star Wombat 3. This is a new addition to Garrett Gerthy's bag. This is the most utilizable disc that you can make do whatever you want. Throw it with the hyzer line low, it'll hold the hyzer. If I throw it with a little hyzer, throw a little high, pops up straight and holds the line straight. I throw it for backhand about 60-70% and let it go about 380, 400. I'm gonna be getting a bunch of birdies with this at the World Championships this year.
And welcome back here to the 2019 Stafford Open. We're at hole 14, a par 3, 287-foot hole. Kind of goes around to the left a little bit and then back uphill towards the right. So for a lefty backhand, you kind of want to throw a big S-turn. But for a righty, you're going to want to throw a nice easy hyzer shot or a forehand. And Holly threw the backhand shot there and left herself probably a circle putt.
Very well executed line down the middle. Looks like Lisa's going to go for the forehand S. And she puts it up high on the turnover. Looks like it's going to tickle a little bit and stay a little short left. Sarah looks like she's lining up for a similar forehand line.
Very nice shot, and should fade back nicely. Still leave herself a little bit of a long putt, but doable.
Vanessa looks like she's lining up for the backhand.
All these ladies are taking the fairway route, but if you look, there is a right-hand backhand that goes straight ahead and that will fade out to the left. So Vanessa here is now going to have to throw an anhyzer shot up the hill to try to make it up to save a par.
And here's Lisa putting from about 55, 60 feet out over the mountain laurel. Wow. Making a great long putt.
That was
with the fist pump on the way to the basket that was well deserved.
Wow, that was a great shot for the birdie, and we'll see that with the Gatekeeper rewind.
Got the reverse angle coming in over the mountain laurel, right in the chains.
Wow, good job, Lisa. And the fist pump, like you said. She's got to be happy to get those 2 birdies. So now with those 2 birdies, Sarah's going to really have to, make sure she maintains her lead. So, she's probably thinking, I got to make this putt too. And she just misses high.
Little high with a step out putt. And here's Holly coming uphill for her birdie putt. Looks like she took a little tickle off that last tree.
Yeah, that left side, behind the basket there, putting uphill, there are quite a few trees that you have to contend with.
Vanessa appears to be just outside the circle, making a good putt there.
That was a nice save from Vanessa for her par.
It really was. Really was.
Sarah making her putt for par. After the 3, par 3s, now you're coming into 3 par 4s. So, those next 3 par 4s, you really need to par or birdie. You'll see here Lisa took the lone birdie, whereas Sarah, Holly, and Vanessa both took 3s.
And we're coming into the 15th, which is a 731-foot par 4 out the tunnel into the field. You really want to put a good move on this drive. while ensuring you don't hit any trees on the way out. Because of the distance on the hole, it requires you to make a long drive and a long second shot if you want to get a good look down in there. And this is the putt coming up the right fairway into the circular block green that was built on the hillside.
Yeah, and luckily on this hole there is no OB. Like on the other open holes, there is OB.
Lisa appears to have made a really powerful drive coming out the chute, putting some distance on it and clean out into the field.
Here's Holly with her drive on hole 15. Great shot. Again, out into the field. That's all you really need. You know, you don't have to throw this too hard, but hard enough to where you want to get into the field and allow yourself a good second shot to punch through into the woods again. This is probably my favorite hole on the back nine, hole 15, because you have to go out of the woods, out in the open, and then back into the woods. And all of those shots aren't very easy shots to execute.
Looks like all 4 ladies made it out into the field. That's just really well played golf. Just getting out of that chute can be difficult. Getting out of that chute with power adds just another level to it. Holly looks like she's got a really good backhand, going to make it right about the edge of the grass, leaving herself a look up the left fairway. There is 2 fairways in there, where you get the left side, which would be a righty forehand, or the right side, which is more straight.
Yeah, we have Vanessa here in the tall grass. You know, like we said, while the tall grass is an OB, it does hinder your run up a little bit. But for Vanessa, it didn't look like it really hindered it at all. Like Adam just mentioned, there is a left side into the entrance, and that's the entrance that Vanessa was able to get into.
Sarah with the forehand. Looks like she's going up the right gap and going to leave herself probably looking right down the chute at the basket. Very well placed shot.
Man, these ladies can huck.
Yeah, Lisa got on that.
Wow.
If that got through, that would have been down near pin high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're right. Sarah does have a good shot. You could see that the basket's right there, and then you have the white pole sticking up. The white pole was a good idea here because you can't see the basket when you're in the field. So, you know, the white pole on top of the basket does allow you to give a little bit of distance.
You can visually spot the basket
Yep.
before you can see the metal part of it from the crest of the hill.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely helped an awful lot.
Vanessa lining up her third shot.
Looks like she's going to finish right at the base of that wall.
Mm-hmm. Nothing wrong with that.
Lisa coming in, also going to finish at the bottom of the wall.
Mm-hmm. Think she was running that?
You never know. You can see the wind in Holly's clothes, so it might have got a little lift. But she's definitely been making a push here on the back nine.
Mm-hmm.
Holly playing this inside the circle. So for distance reference, the outside of that circle is exactly 12 feet from the pole all the way around. So you can have an idea of how far out these putts are. Lisa's probably at about 45 feet.
Well,
just off the top rim. That was a really good run.
Yeah, she did make a good run at it. Hokom for par.
This is probably about a 20-footer or so, but it is downhill, and if she goes long, it goes long.
Mm-hmm.
That's a great putt.
Yep.
That one you just seem to be staring into a wall of air on that downhill shot, because it drops off right there and right behind the basket. It's a really good pressure putt she just made.
Yeah, because from kind of where Vanessa's putting, she has that, tall backstop behind her, whereas the way Sarah was putting, if she missed, she could have very well, gone long and even, skipped off, that 12-foot circle that you were talking about.
Vanessa makes a good finish for a par.
Yeah, these are great pars. This hole plays slightly over 4, so anytime you can get a par here, it's a good score.
It certainly is. This hole's tough.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Lisa finishing in here for her bogey, and she is now down to -1. So 16 is a 545-foot par 4 with OB stakes down the left and right side, and you can see in the video it circles all the way around behind the basket. And there is usually a little bit of a tailwind out here, and you can see the trees moving above Sarah's head as she's throwing, and that's against the tree line. I guarantee you the wind's blowing more out in the middle of that field.
And in this hole, we play traditional OB rules where you play from where it last went out if you do go out of bounds. Sarah had a nice, easy, simple shot right in the middle of the fairway, and that's all you need. You know, you really just want to stay in bounds on the drive, and the second shot is really the key shot here. You know, Vanessa threw that a little bit to the right, but the way it's fading out, she luckily was able to get back in bounds and play it safe.
I think that's that tailwind we were talking about earlier. It definitely hyzered late.
Yep.
Lisa looks like she's playing the same throw, wide out right, and just going to let the wind, let the disc do its thing.
Mr. Joe Ferranti, volunteer extraordinaire.
Holly appears to have her yellow destroyer in hand, throwing the hyzer as well. And she's just in the tall grass and didn't quite get to hyzer.
So again, playing traditional OB, it's when she last went out of bounds, and that's why she's, you know, much closer to the tee.
So Holly's going to be throwing 4.
That was a great shot.
And that looks to be inside the circle there.
Wow.
That's a really, really good finish to that disc.
So we have Lisa on her second shot.
Saw Lisa drying her hands before that. She's feeling it right now. And she skips off the mulch right underneath the basket. It's going to leave her a birdie putt.
This is one of the holes I'm sure she's thinking in her head, you know, I have to birdie this. I have to get, you know, one back on Sarah on this hole to really, you know, set herself up for the last 2 holes of the tournament.
Sarah's out a little wide left with a forehand that should finish back towards the basket. And looks like she might be about circle's edge. Vanessa lining up her backhand.
She has such a smooth, flat release with her disc. And Vanessa was new to discraft this year.
So Sarah's inside the circle, putting for her birdie.
Yeah, to you know, to a hanging elevated basket, and there's always wind on this putt. Oh, just missed it. You know, this is a mental putt every time you stand up to this basket. And I'm sure Sarah knew that she had to make it. And Vanessa shows how,
hers.
Yeah, she shows how it's done, and that's how you birdie this hole. You know, I'm sure that's how you designed it.
Smart drive with a strongly placed upshot. You can throw as far as you want. You still have to put it under the basket. Holly's lining up her putt. Center chains in for her bogey, which is a good up and down from there. She was out of bounds early.
Yeah. I'm sure Lisa's thinking, you know, I need to make this putt. You know, I really got to make this in order to only have 1 stroke back from Sarah. Great putt.
She's in for the birdie.
Yep.
And we've got Sarah at -3, Lisa at -2, Vanessa at +5, and Holly at +7. With 2 holes to go, we've got a 1-stroke match. And we are on the 17th, which is a par 4, 520-foot downhill that comes down through a tunnel off the tee and then bends a little bit down to the right. And you follow the brightly colored yellow brick road wood chips towards the basket. That's right behind the DoubleTree on the left. And here we have Vanessa setting up for her backhand. She throws it a little flat and pulled it just a little bit right and kicked into the left rough.
Wow, Lisa just got up there and threw, but unfortunately she hit that tree to the left and kicked to the left. That's going to leave her a tough second shot, which can open the door a little bit for Sarah here. You know, if she can have a nice smooth shot down the middle of the fairway, you know, she'll easily get a birdie or a par. And what a great shot she had. I mean, she knew that she had to execute that in order to keep her lead. And she shot that so nicely.
She made it down the gap and pushed it a long way down the left-hand side.
And we have Holly, fourth on the tee. Great shot by Holly.
Look at that just stand up.
Yeah, and that'll just
That's going to go a long way down there, finishing right on the mulch, which is dead center of the fairway.
That's all you need.
Just that? Just the perfect throw? That's all we need?
I guess a little bit of talent too, right? Wow, Vanessa got all the way down there. She hit a little tree, but she still got some distance from that second shot.
This is Lisa behind the short tee in the left, throwing a big power forehand. That does appear to have finished in the center of the fairway. That's a really good out.
Yep. She can still have an up and down and get her par and walk away. So Vanessa is throwing her third shot.
And you can see the gap she had was really tight. And it looks like she's hit that and hyzered to left side of the green, leaving her about a circle putt. And here's Lisa staring it right down. Making a nice approach, leaving herself on right side of circle.
All right, if Sarah can get up and down here and, tap in for a birdie, she'll be another stroke up, which will leave her a nice little cushion going into the last hole.
Tough shot here, and she hit the double tree early. From experience, that's about 20 to 22 feet out.
We have Holly with her upshot.
Going to leave herself maybe 25, 30 feet out.
Vanessa with the straddle putt. Great putt. That's a nice par she had. Especially from, she hit an early tree. Her second shot was maybe about halfway down the fairway. So that third shot she had on that putt was great.
Another up and down for a strong par. She is putting together a fantastic round.
Sarah focusing. Probably saying, I got to get this birdie. And she
does.
got it. Wow, she's probably really happy she got that. Again, left herself a little bit of a cushion for her going into the last hole.
Strong putt there. Strong hole.
Yeah. Probably figuring out who's out. Looks like Holly is out.
Same routine we were talking about earlier.
Every time.
They all step up. They do the exact same thing. Holly makes it in for the birdie.
Yeah. This hole is definitely birdieable. For as tight it is off the tee, it does open up as it makes that turn to the right. So Lisa has a pressure putt here. What pressure?
Steps right up and just center pole in for the par. Looks like we have 2 birdies and 2 pars. Sarah's -4, Lisa -2, going into the last hole with Vanessa at 5+ and Holly at 6+.
And in the final hole, hole 18, we have a par 3, 285-foot hole. For a righty, it is kind of a high hyzer shot. It's only 285 feet, so you should be able to get towards the basket. There also is kind of a cheater route that you can throw over the laurels to the left to kind of give yourself a little bit of more of a cut towards the basket. And Hokom does take that, cheater route, unfortunately hits a tree early.
Little inside early to the left. That could be trouble over there. There's a lot of trees in the way over there. Holly looks like she's hit the inside lane again. Righty hand, backhand, that should stand up nice and finish towards the basket, which it does.
Yes, an inside the circle putt for her.
Very good finish.
Vanessa with a nice hyzer. It flattens out just a little bit, but it's going to fade nicely. Ooh, goes through that big triple tree. She has probably an 8-foot putt.
And that's the shot. Slight stand up and a finish back to the right can put you inside the circle.
Yeah, Lisa's going to really have to make sure she executes this shot to leave herself a birdie opportunity.
Which she does.
Wow.
That is parked and going to put a little pressure on Sarah's out.
Yep.
Sarah's in a tough spot over there.
Looks like she's lining up for a forehand roller. She's going to really have to get this up towards the basket. Lisa has, a 2 or guaranteed par.
And it cut a little early. That's probably just outside the circle. Here we've got Sarah on her par putt.
Yeah, she's really going to have to make this. Because even if if Hokom pars this and Lisa birdies, Hokom still wins by 1. She misses. Well, let's see what Lisa does here.
Lisa, knowing the tournament's on the line, puts it in for the birdie.
Shoots even for the round, 3 down overall. Now that is a great putt by Lisa. It looked like she didn't have any pressure in her head at all to make
That's
that putt.
a strong 3 rounds.
Yeah. And this is Lisa's first time here too at Stafford.
Holly in for the birdie with a great drive.
Yep, shoots +4 for this round, +6 overall.
We've got Sarah probably feeling a little bit, having to make this to go to a playoff.
Well, for most people, this is an easy putt. I mean, it is a pressure putt. She has to make this. Let's see what she does.
And Sarah's in.
Yeah. Bogey that hole, shooting a +1 and a 3 down overall.
A strong weekend. And it looks like Vanessa has put up a really good round herself here.
Yeah. Finally getting to her beautiful drive on this last hole for a birdie.
And she finished at 1 down and 5 over overall.
These ladies have great... They played so well on this last round.
And here we have on the playoff on hole 1, Lisa lining up first. And she just laced that down the middle of the fairway.
Yeah. I mean, this is a pressure drive. I mean, at this point, it's like you're almost thinking match play, but you have to get the drive down there in order to set yourself up for a par or a birdie. Oh, Sarah just turns that over a little bit and kicks way far right. Sarah's really got to get up and down here because Lisa had a real nice drive.
She's in the right rough. And she's got to put a high hyzer up. And it does finish. It does finish very well. That's a good out.
Mm-hmm. Probably leaves herself about a 25-foot putt, you'd say?
Probably. Maybe about circle's edge.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely putting the pressure on Lisa here.
What do you think? Do you think Lisa's going to run this? Or do you think she's going to, potentially lay it up and force the pressure putt?
Oh, just off the rim.
So she kind of gave that a go.
She gave it a good run. And this is Sarah, knowing Lisa's pretty close. Looks like she's just outside the circle.
Just misses. All right, Lisa. Putt for the win. Woo! Nice par.
See that smile on her face? That is your 2019 FPO Stafford Open champion.
Congratulations to Lisa Fajkus. This is her first time here at Stafford, and she just played 3 solid rounds, and so did Hokom. Hokom played great golf all weekend, but, playoff, it comes down to the hole, and Lisa won the hole.
And here we have in your final standings winning the playoff at Lisa Fajkus and Sarah Hokom, who were tied at 3 down. Vanessa Van Dyken, 3rd round, 1 down, finishing at +5, and Holly finishing at +6. As we go to the leaderboard, we have Maris Perendi finishing at +11, Michelle Fraser at +12, Kona Panis at 14, the lady beside me, Becky Harris, at 15, and Cassandra Loy at 26.
Yeah, Missy Gannon made her way up and shot a hot round to make herself into cash. We thank you so much for watching the 2019 Stafford Open. Adam and I had a blast commentating. Thank you to Gatekeeper Media, all the Stafford Woodpeckers for their volunteer time. And, we will speak to you soon.